Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker, and man, I am excited today to have Miss Tonya Speaks, Tonya Carter, with us. Man, great lady, doing some amazing things, and I feel very fortunate, always fortunate when can chop it up with her and just talk life. And today, we're just gonna hit on personal growth. First off, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good now.
Good,
How
good,
about
good. Thank
that? Because I know we about to give them some heat. Okay.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, but personal growth. What's on your mind and on your heart about personal growth today?
What's on my heart about personal growth is learning to build the most important relationship with your in your life, and that's yourself.
Mm,
We tend to give a lot of relationships more attention than we do us. We don't study us. We don't go down the
mm,
journey of self-discovery enough. Um, in other words, learning how to be a successful individual. We're taught a lot about our worth is more defined on who we're attached to,
mm,
believing that we're less than if we're not in a relationship. And what that can potentially do is cause you to miss out on what you may not receive if you are in a relationship.
mm,
I'm going to be honest and say that I am very grateful that I did not get remarried. And this isn't to say that I don't desire that, okay? Because there's a difference. But I'm glad that the journey didn't turn out the way I wanted it to.
mm,
Because as a divorce coach, the biggest thing that I hear from many women is I lost myself. I don't know who I am. They haven't established that level of self identity. And
yeah.
so they find or tend to find themselves or look for themselves in other people. Therefore, when that relationship doesn't work, they have no clue as to who they are. They have no level of self identity. And going back to ground zero is very challenging because now you are left to rebuild a new life. And it can be scary, which can cause you to not even start, which allows you to stay paralyzed in a life that you don't even want. And so the goal is to develop a level of embracing your singleness as opposed to believing that singleness is something that you should be disgraced about. Okay, because singleness is more deeper than just you being in a relationship. It's a journey of finding who you are, loving yourself. We say, well, you got to love yourself, but no, that is a very real journey. You have to,
Mm.
you
Tough
really,
journey.
it is a tough journey because
Yeah.
many people struggle with self-esteem. Many people struggle with self-belief and self-confidence. Notice self. We're talking, everything is self-related. So if it's self-related, then why do we feel like someone else will be the fix? Now, people can be an influence, but another person cannot fix something that is going on with self.
Right.
That is still an issue that you have to intentionally work on building because it's not a either you have it or you don't.
You have to
It's
work
not.
on it.
You can work on it.
And you have to
It
build it.
is a, you
Yeah.
have to build it,
Yeah.
but you have to allow yourself to go down that journey, and you're gonna have to allow yourself to peel back some layers that you may not want to face, but those are the layers that's gonna allow you to unleash and be your authentic self. Um, Prime example, I was watching Red Table Talk, and Will and Jada had a conversation about where they were individually, and Jada realized that she wasn't happy, and it had nothing to do with Will. It had everything to do with her.
Yeah.
And they both had to go down this journey because he even realized that as a man who's like number one in his career, there were still things in him that he needed to work on. And that was something that they had to talk about, even as a married couple, that the needs that they had as individuals wasn't being presented in the marriage. And so they had to go down this journey of finding themselves. Like, that is a true journey. You know how when you try to find something, you looking, you like, man, where? And when you find it, you like, oh my God, like you just feel like you just want, like, that's how you feel when you find yourself. Like, where
Yeah.
has she been? Where has he been? When you find yourself, something in you unleash. I
You,
found my purpose.
yeah.
I found my purpose. And that's why I'm grateful that I didn't get in another relationship, because that wasn't what I needed. That wasn't what I needed.
You know, several things that, as you were talking about that resonated with me. I think, first being like, it's when you haven't already gone through some tough things and have come out on the other side, it's really scary to go to that deep, dark place. But what you have to realize is that self journey, just like, things that grow, trees, fly, whatever, like the good part of that journey is in the deep, in the roots,
Hmm.
in the darkness, and so, like, you have to be willing to take on that. Hey, it's okay. I have to go to this dark place because I know on the other side of that, I'm gonna bear some great fruits, from that, and grow in the dirt, if you will, grow my roots in the dirt. And so, you have to be able, like you say, that self. But it's beauty in that, though.
It's beauty in the breakdown.
Yeah,
It's
like,
beauty in the breakdown.
man, it's so much. Like, I don't know, man. I'm probably even smiling when I say this, but like, when you go through that and you discover, like, oh, I'm good, and you figure out things about you. This is why I did this. I made this decision. This is okay. All right, I worked through. And once you do that and come out on the other side, as you said when you started this, man, I'm so glad that it did end up like I wanted it to end
Man,
up.
when I tell you, Chip, that was I'm serious. I did a live on that.
Yeah,
That I'm glad that I never got remarried. I'm grateful that my life didn't turn out the way I expected it to. I'm glad that it went in a whole different direction. And I'm very serious about it. And I know sometimes we want what we want so bad, but we have to trust, the timing on our lives and
yeah,
not our own. And for me, that just means to have a level of faith in a higher power than myself. Because when I sit here and think that it got to happen my way and it doesn't, it leaves me stuck in my story. It makes me think that I'm a victim. It makes me feel like, you know, woe is me. But when you say, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you, and trusting him means to still move. And I tell people that all the time, like, you trust him by still moving and doing what's required of you. And I had to go to the dark side. I had to see why I was attracting unhealthy relationships. I mean, I
yeah.
had to see the common denominator, like what was going on internally to make me think that
Yeah, like, I
mentally.
think, yeah, I think the thing is, when we realize that, like, we are in control of our destiny. Like you and only you are in control of your destiny. And so when
Absolutely.
you get out the way of yourself, I mean, I think, having that self-awareness. And there's a guy interviewed, David Chin, he said this, and it's like, I'll never forget this quote that he said, because it's so true. It was like, you don't have to strive to conquer the world. You just have to strive to conquer yourself.
Yep.
Just have that self-awareness and focus your energy on, not in a selfish way, but yeah, in a selfish way. But, just focus in on being the best version of yourself every
and that's
day.
and that's giving yourself the permission to realize what you're great at and
Yeah.
what it is that comes naturally for you. Many of us are taught to focus on the things that we're not great at, or we
Mm,
minimize the things that we're great at because we feel like because we don't have what they have, then what we have isn't enough. And so we shrink our voices that way. And in order for you to discover your voice, you got to know what comes naturally for you. And you have to be in tune with that and stop diminishing it, stop minimizing it, saying, you know what, it's not enough. You have enough. You already enough. You just got to operate in what enough is for you and stop comparing yourselves to other people. And we live in a comparison trap. And a
Yeah.
comparison trap will trap you because
Yeah.
it keeps you in bondage.
I'm going to go vacation Bible school on you, Miss Tonya Speaks. uh, we learned this in vacation Bible school, though, the song, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world, and so he made us to his liking, and however he made us, like, that's plenty enough. Your worth that you have, you are worth it. The analogy of like a dollar, whether it's crispy and fresh or, crumbled up, torn, like, it's still worth the same value.
Right.
And the same thing like us in our lives.
Yeah. It's a reprogramming of what your beliefs were to what they need to be. Like where you go, like where the mind goes, you follow. It's just the facts.
That's it.
And I was on a women's empowerment call before I got on this call, and I told them, like, I remember I purposely used to go in jobs and downplay my salary at interviews. Like, I remember I used to do that because even though I knew statistically I was worth more, mentally I didn't. And when you don't mentally believe, it doesn't matter. You're not going to attract it because you don't believe that it's possible. And so, one thing that I do with people I work with, I let them tap into what it is they're already gifted at. I counseled a couple who's about to get married. I believe that's assessment that I gave them changed their whole mindset of how they see themselves, because many people, we determine our worth based on what people think about us. And sometimes this can go as deep as your parents. Like, a lot of this stuff can come from your upbringing,
your experiences,
your
environment.
Right. Where people tell you you're not good enough. They tell you what you're not great at. And so you operate from that lack of confidence. And so you don't allow yourself to unleash what God has already put in you naturally. And so until you come into a self-acceptance of yourself, like it really is, I can tell you all day, like, Chip, you got it, man. Like you got it. But until you activate that with the small mustard seed of faith, until you do it, it's not going to happen. And it's not because I don't think it, it's just because you believe it. It's the belief system. It's the I told the ladies on the call this morning, I'm not going back to Egypt.
Yeah.
I was tired of being in the wilderness, just playing my own self because I was enslaved. In the Bible, God took them out of Egypt. They still wanted to go back. I'm done. I'm gonna leave Egypt right where it's at. I'm going to Canaan. I want the promised land.
That's it.
And I think that many of us are not giving ourselves permission to be released. We are mentally and emotionally prisoned. It's not other people, it's us. And until we realize that and stop seeking this approval from people to do what we already know we should be doing, then that's when we can thrive. Like when you stop looking for permission, I'm not looking for nobody's permission. I got my permission. I'm good. I don't need nobody else's permission. Period. And until you really get that, then that's when you can move. Because you're going to have to sometimes walk alone. And many people don't want to do that. They'll rather be connected when they know they're already disconnected from that person. We're still attached to something we need to be detached from. We just can't let it go because we don't know what the journey ahead looks like because we don't see it. That's why you got to it's a faith walk, because you don't know what that journey looks like. But you got to ask yourself, what am I gaining by staying here? What am I gaining? And then also ask yourself, what am I losing? Because we got to play the long game, right? We got to stop playing these little short games that's not really giving us the return that we want. And so we got to start thinking long term on the consequences when we don't move.
Yeah, it's not about the immediate. It's about the ultimate.
Yeah, it is about the ultimate. And it's scary. I'm not going to lie, but I think about one day that I am going to be an 85-year-old lady. And I don't want to look back at my life in regret, wishing and if only I did this. I wish I
Yeah.
would have done that. I think one of the biggest things, and Gary Vee talks about this all the time, is that I think people are going to really wake up and live their life in regret. I really do. I really believe that because they didn't have the courage to take the journey less traveled. You know what I'm saying? And so when you go down this level of personal growth, it is a journey that's not sexy. You know what I'm saying? It's not what everybody else is doing. So it's like you got to almost do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And that's taking that journey unknown, finding who you are and being unapologetic about it, and realizing that being who you are is enough, developing that wholeness. Because we do feel like, and I can say this as a woman, you always get asked, why you single? Why you not married? What's wrong? Like, nothing's wrong. I mean, it's just a choice.
Yeah.
And why that just can't be a choice. And you have to be strong in that, because you will, if not, you will allow people to determine when you should be in a relationship. Therefore, you operating out of a place of desperation and choosing the wrong mate. And so you have to be very strong in yourself individually to know that what they say shouldn't affect you or leave you to question who you are. Because women get questioned. I get DMs all the time. I had one lady told me that a lady in the church told her that married women are better. And that left her questioning her singleness. And she was hurt. And so I told her to read this book by Dr. Miles Monroe called Single, Married, Separated, and Life After Divorce. It's a very good book that talks about being single and what it means, because she was struggling with that. And she started questioning herself. That's why it's important to really develop a strong relationship with you, because words like that wouldn't offend you.
Yeah.
Because that's somebody else's insecurity that they're putting on you.
On you, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And what's important is not how other people view you. What's important is, how do you view yourself?
Right.
And like,
seriously.
And that, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's really, and the big man, of course, that's where it starts. But
that's
like,
but based on what he says about us, that should be how we view ourselves. And many
right.
of us don't view ourselves in that way. We'll say it, we'll wear the shirt, we'll wear the bands, but we don't internally feel that way. And it doesn't matter how many shirts you wear, how many stickers on your car, how much you shout, you know, how many times you go to church. It doesn't. At the end of the day, if you still don't internally believe that, then it's still going to show up and appear in your life. So you have to believe it by how you live.
Yeah,
You really do. Like you honestly do. And so that involves making some very extremely tough decisions. Like, you got to even let go of the good to go for great. That's how hard it is, because you got to make those tough decisions. It's not easy. It's not an easy walk.
Yeah.
It's not. And so I do it. I mean, I've made some tough decisions, and it hurt to make them. Like, to think that it doesn't. I tell people all the time, but I had to make the best decision. And the best decision sometimes means letting the good go.
Well, like I told you guys, it was going to be hot, some heat. I tried to warn you at the beginning, but always a pleasure to link up with you. And like I said, just talk life. And, you know, it's a blessing what you're doing and the value that you're adding to others. And it's great when we can take our experiences and use those experiences, not to help us be better, but to help us be better so that we can help others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's truly what, you know, you're doing, and helping others in a great way. And so I'm truly appreciative of you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for checking out this personal growth topic session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.